I heard you mention you love Tyler Perry.
I did say that.
Yeah.
I'm on Tyler Perry. I've been watching Tyler Perry. What do you think about what Tyler Perry is doing for the Black community and just everything? Can we dive into that? Like,
ooh, we got.
You can say anything you want to say. You can dive into.
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay.
But don't you find like the weather of Canada being a little different? Because like people always ask me like, do you compare? Caribbean weather, African weather compared to Canada and the heat?
Of course you compare, and there's no comparison. Like this is ridiculous.
But
see, what was ridiculous though? My mom moved us to Winnipeg. That was so draining. It wasn't uplifting. It wasn't making me feel like I'm on top of the world and I can conquer anything. I could do anything. Yeah, sure. You have the Black woman that like in the end she gets hers. But it's like I don't understand, why is it constantly her fighting aggressively against someone and people coming at her. And it's just like, is that always our story? Does that always have to be our story? Is us just fighting with everyone? Do we always constantly have to be fighting with everyone? Especially my biggest issue is that the lead tends to be a dark-skinned Black woman. But then what happened was it came to a point where it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, you're telling another story about how I'm the problem and the victim once again? Oh
man.
Huh. Wow. Okay. So it's more drama and I'm in the middle of it. And I'm both the victim and the problem again.
Yeah. What's going on, Afro Diaspora Nation, man? We are back with another sensational episode, man. Look, it's been a while. I know it's been a long time. Major, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, man.
I haven't been sitting here in a long. We took a little vacation.
Where have you been, man?
A little vacation time. You know, the guy in the back was achieving some greatness.
Like, everybody disappeared except Major.
Oh, you know what?
But again, we're back.
That's who he is, man. That's who he is. We don't mind that
for sure.
Preparing for new projects and stuff, so we don't mind that, man. So welcome again, man, to another sensational episode. We are live here with a wonderful guest that you guys did not want to miss on this one, man. Another leader in the community that we are very, very blessed to have on this show for today. I'm your guest, Baraka, by the way. If you guys don't know that, I'm sure you guys know that. On my right side, we got Major, obviously. And we're going to dive right into it, man. You know what I'm saying? This has been a long time. Our people waiting for this. Let's go into the guests. Are you excited for this, Major?
I am. Oh, man. I can't wait to hear her talk.
We're going to cover a lot of stuff today. That's for sure, man. Hey, she is a producer, a screenwriter. You know what I'm saying? She's a mother, a wonderful leader.
Especially a mother, man.
Especially a mother. I mean, we can cover that a little bit too, the show. Yes. See what mothers can handle, you know, with this generation of the kids. Look, man, she's a lot in this community, and we are really appreciative for her being here today. This is CHANELLE Holder. We're presenting you guys in Afro Diaspora podcast. Let's dive in, CHANELLE. CHANELLE, start. Welcome to the building, first of all. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling hot?
Yo,
are you feeling ready?
Am I feeling hot? Ooh, let me humble myself for a minute. let me just.
I'm making you a little more hot again, man. I'm like,
am I hot? Call my kids in the room and let them put some humility back into me right now.
Major, the election looks back, man. You guys, I know you guys missed out on us.
You
guys missed on this.
You know what's funny?
What's up?
Most people always think that this room is fresh. You know, it's cool.
Until people come in here.
This is like Caribbean weather. This is like I'm home in Trinidad. This is good. This is my, you know?
This feels like home.
Yeah. No, like my mom, like when we immigrated to Canada the first year, I remember that heating bill. Like she used to crank the heat.
When was this? When was this when you...
This was when I was 11 back in 20... Oh my gosh. Yo, I have a mom brain. I don't know numbers. I want to say 2004. Was when we immigrated.
That's a wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember my friends would come over to our apartment and just be like, it's really hot in here. And I'm like, is it? What?
So it was like nothing new to you, obviously.
Yeah.
But don't you find like the weather of Canada being a little different? Because like people always ask me like, do you compare,
Yeah.
Caribbean weather, African weather compared to Canada and the heat? How
Of
does it
course you
affect it?
compare, and there's no comparison. Like this is ridiculous.
This is
Although
this is
no,
totally
but see what
different
was
thing.
ridiculous though, my mom moved us to Winnipeg.
Oh,
So it was
it's hot over there.
it was
Yeah, yeah.
cold.
No,
It
but like
was-
it gets hotter in the summer, I guess, in Winnipeg.
that weather is stupid. It's
I think it gets super,
ridiculously hot. Yeah, it's ridiculously hot. And then all of a sudden
ridiculously
it's like insanely cold. Like you can't leave the house. You can't leave the house in the summer because it's too hot. You can't leave the house in the winter because it's too cold.
Yeah. But then Caribbean and Africa is like you
Yeah.
slide into the weather.
equatorial, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same weather, except
Yeah.
like rainy season and hot season. But like, still, it's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're still living. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're in here feeling the heat, but we're still grinding through the heat and
Of course. I enjoy the heat.
getting
I
some
love
good topics for the people out there.
I love the
Yeah,
heat,
you're making me
man.
comfortable. It's good.
There you go. That's what we want to hear. So we're gonna dive right into it then, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
We're here to discuss a lot more about the film productions. That's what she's gonna be laying on us a lot
Yeah.
more about film production, especially in the Black community.
Yes.
That's a huge thing right there.
Yes. I heard you mention you love Tyler Perry.
I did say that.
Yeah.
I'm on Tyler Perry. I've been watching Tyler Perry. What do you think about like what Tyler Perry is doing for the Black community and just everything? Can we dive into that? Like,
Ooh, we got.
you can say anything you want to say. You can dive into.
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, one of my friends. She's an influencer. She's got like a really big following. She's a Black woman.
Okay.
Right. She talks very real about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she posted Tyler Perry's most recent. I think it was a movie he came out with.
Yeah.
And it looked like a controversial movie. And when she posted it, I was shocked to see, because I didn't know that. I don't know why, but I didn't know that someone like her, like in particular, would have the same view as me, where you're just kind of like, oh. So yeah. So basically, she posted about Tyler Perry's recent movie,
Yeah.
and she was like, I will not be watching.
Whew.
And I was like, yes, girl, thank you.
So
And
now, that's how we
I
have to
was
dive
like-
in now.
I was like, okay, so we on the same trajectory here. Okay. And I was shocked to see how many other Black women in the comments, one after the other, it's just like, enough. I'm done. No,
Really?
I'm tired of it. I can't stand it anymore. Like, this is ridiculous. Because, first we had, the big one was Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You remember that? You saw that, right? And, when we saw that, I remember seeing that as a little girl, and, we got excited. We got excited about the drama and about the chaos, and really it's like taking a lot of like the realities of like, the things that go on in the Black community, and it's heightening it a bit and making it more comedic, making it more like exciting and whatever. I mean, no matter what, that's what storytelling is, you kind of amp it up a bit. And oh man, but like, it's just like, as time went on, and like, I don't know, I think everybody kind of committed to Tyler Perry when he first came out. We were all just like, anything that he comes out with, we are there.
We're going for it.
We're going to watch it. We're going to support it. We're going to be excited
That's
about
good.
it. But then what happened was it came to a point where it was just like, oh, I'm sorry. You're telling another story about how I'm the problem and the victim once again?
Oh man.
Okay. So it's more drama, and I'm in the middle of it. And I'm both the victim and the problem again.
Yeah.
And it's just drama after drama, where it's just showing more of like the problems and the just all of this chaos that's just like basically making, for me personally, it was exhausting. Like, it was like,
That's great to hear. That's why we want to uncover.
yeah,
'cause,
like I'm
people
like,
have to,
I got to a point where I was just like, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't want to watch another Tyler Perry nonsense.
really, eh?
Because it was just like, it was so exhausting constantly seeing this content that was so draining. It wasn't uplifting. It wasn't making me feel like I'm on top of the world and I can conquer anything. I could do anything. Yeah, sure. You have the Black woman that like in the end she gets hers. But it's like, I don't understand, why is it constantly her fighting aggressively against someone and people coming at her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, is that always our story? Does that always have to be our story? Is us just fighting with everyone? Do we always constantly have to be fighting with everyone? And see, especially my biggest issue is that the lead tends to be a dark-skinned Black woman.
Mm.
When you see a light-skinned Black woman, like, let me tell you some light-skinned Black women who get to have whatever role they want. Zoe Saldana. She's half Black, so she's a light-skinned Black woman. Zendaya.
You think that's the key? Like, that's what's happening now?
Zendaya, half Black.
Wow.
She gets any role she wants. And you see, when she gets a lead role, who's her supporting cast? Is it an all-Black cast or is it anybody? It's anybody. She's in a relationship with anybody. Her situations, whatever it is that she's going through, whatever it is. Like, in the same year, she did Spider-Man and she did Euphoria. Like, she did, like, you know, like something that was like a family something and then something that was more intense and dramatic. Like, she gets to pick basically whatever she wants to do. And when I got into the acting community, first of all, that was when I started realizing, hold on, why am I getting a lot of auditions? That's like, I'm the victim. Like, what? Why am I getting auditions where, like, wait, so this one I got kidnapped. Okay, and nobody cares. And okay, and then my mom has to like go and fight with the police and fight with everybody to get somebody to care that I got kidnapped. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, the next one. Oh, okay, so I was an Olympic athlete. Awesome, we made it. Okay, I was an Olympic athlete. Oh, I injured myself. Oh, shoot. And now I have to go into a life of crime in order to take care of my grandma.
I see the storyline.
Okay. Oh, and now the cops are after me. Oh, great. You know, it was constantly these stories that I'm getting, or, oh, I'm a prisoner. I'm in a jail cell. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, there was one that I got. Because typically, like, when I get an audition, like, I try to be respectful, especially to my agent, because I'm like, you know, you're doing the best you can to put me out there for as many roles as possible.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that I get an audition for is what I get an audition for, you know? And I want to respect that she put her time in to submit me and get me this audition. I'm going to audition for it. There was one I got that I was literally I was so shut down. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Period. Point blank. I'm done. Because it was just basically, it was the story. It took place like back in the day when it was like, you know, Black people were still going through their struggles and whatever like that. And it's basically this Black family that was like driving down the street. It was based on a true story. And they are like in the South. And this like white pickup truck, or like this pickup truck with like white hillbillies, pulls them over and then basically kind of takes them hostage, I guess. But it's because the grandma, the Black grandma, couldn't shut up. She's like, you know, kind of talking back at them and like getting them worked up. And basically the way the story ends is that these white hillbillies kill them all. And there are kids in it too.
Oh, man.
And like basically takes them into the woods and kills them one after the other. And that's the entire story. Is that one after the other, they are taking them into the woods and they're sitting there waiting to die, basically. And I'm like, I'm not doing that story. I'm not doing that audition. I'm not even gonna like this is ridiculous now.
That's very interesting.
You know, that like me as a dark-skinned Black woman, that I have to get constantly these types of auditions. And like the other auditions that I'm getting, you know, like they're the ones that aren't so intense are small little side roles. You know, the crazy Black girl, the crazy Black friend.
Like I've seen that movie called Ma. I don't think you watched that movie. It's the movie called Ma, where this Black woman was just crazy, it's getting anybody and doing everything, getting people to drugs, whatever. I'm like, I just thought it was just a movie, you know, just to get something. But I never, you know, when you think about it, it's like, like when you say that, it's like, why is it gotta be like that?
And it's we're just like me, all my Black sisters that are all actresses, well, brothers as well, actors. No, not even the brothers though. No. Backtrack. No, let's be real. Idris Elba can get whatever he wants. Idris can get whatever he wants. He does whatever he wants. Will Smith can do whatever he wants. You know, like, I mean, except slap, what's his face on
Chris
stage.
Rock.
He ain't gonna, I mean, he can't get away with that. He can't get away with that.
No.
But, like we're really, it's interesting because what we're seeing here is that dark-skinned Black women will always be a slave or a victim of like prejudice or social injustice, whatever. Like we will always be going through some type of struggle. We will always be like telling the same story over and over and over again. Even the stories that have just came out that are supposed to be like empowering for us, like for example, when I saw the trailer, do you know The Woman King?
Woman King, yes.
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw The Woman King?
Yeah, I saw The Woman King.
Yeah, when that came out, when I first saw the trailer, I was like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that.
Viola Davis, what? Yes, girl, yes, girl, yes, girl.
The Woman King.
And then all of a sudden it was like, wait, what? Wait, what? No. Why are you killing my husband over and over and over and over again? Because, I'm married a white man, and so all of a sudden it went from this really cool, like, African tribe and okay, all right, sisters, and like, it seems like so empowering. And it just suddenly turned into like scene after scene after scene of them killing white man after white man after white man. And I was like, why? What? I don't understand. Why is this the story that we are getting everybody pumped up about and saying that this is a movie about Black woman empowerment? And I'm like, why am I killing white men? I don't want to kill white men. I'm married to one. I can live in unity with him. I mean, sometimes I do feel like I want to kill him, if he does something that really sets me off. But like, like that, I love him overall,
But
like
that's for
I
every
love
woman,
him.
right?
Yeah, that's just married life.
Yeah, that's married life.
But
I just married life.
It doesn't matter.
exactly, and so I'm just like, okay, so basically my story specifically, which is that, like I'm an immigrant, Trinidad born, immigrated to Canada. I met my husband, when we were like teenagers, fell in love, got married, like had kids, like, we're doing life together and things are great. And the coolest thing about him is that he's so excited about learning my culture and learning about my stuff. And I'm excited about learning from his stuff too. No matter what, like, even though like some people think white people don't have culture, it's like, no, they, especially according to where they are from, because he's from a small town in Manitoba, Selkirk, and they have their own culture that I get to learn about and I get to be a part of, and it's like, why is that not being the norm?
Yeah, exactly.
On TV and on movies? Why is it the constant conversation of it's us against them? And especially for the dark-skinned Black woman, it's us against them. Like, I don't want that to be my story anymore, just being retold. Yes, there's an importance for it. Like, I do believe that there's an importance for like our history and knowing where you came from in order to know, like, okay, let's not repeat these things in the future. Like, this has been our past, this has been our history. But now it's like, okay, we've banged it into a lot of people's heads that this is our story and this is our history. Can we move on and tell stories that show us being in community with other races and other cultures, which is our everyday life? Like I said, like, another, like a big problem that I have with like stories like Tyler Perry or stories like, like movies, particularly wherever there's like a dark-skinned Black woman, there's typically an all-Black cast. That's usually how it goes. It's an all-Black supporting cast. And my problem with that is that like, that's not a reality. I don't know whose reality that is, but even though like, yes, my family is Black, like my mom, my sisters, my dad, my cousins, whatever. But it's like, we get to a family gathering and you're going to see some other ethnicities because we marry other ethnicities. We go to work, we're going to work with other ethnicities. We're going to the gym and we're around other ethnicities. I'm going to drop my kids off at school. My friends are Asian, they're white, they're, like Middle Eastern. Like I have friends that are all different cultures and we get to learn from each other. We get to be in community. We act like we're all sisters and we're family, even though we're different cultures. And so it's like, why is it that we have so much content in the media that's all Black? As if like we want to create this segregated world.
I feel like, oh, that's wow. Really good. You put up a lot of points in that, man. Like things I didn't even know. Because I was watching Tyler Perry. Because most people watch Tyler Perry, but it takes like some people actually don't really like dive into it and actually picture it in that kind of way. You know, like seeing how the storyline are, because it's true. Like you mentioned a dark skin, you gotta go through like why the police chasing me? You know, why are we getting killed and stuff like that. I never knew it because I was watching Tyler Perry and just most of the comedy because I love comedy shows. So I feel like whatever he's writing is good. It's like entertaining to watch.
He is.
But when you dive into those points, you're like, oh. You know, so it's very interesting that you brought that up over there. And then you also brought like Will Smith going to slap, you know, Chris Rock. Do you think like why did it do it and then he didn't get canceled? Like he didn't get canceled at all. He just everything like move on. He's back on in the show now. He's back on that word shows. A performance.
Yeah, he got that movie out.
The movie Bad Boys.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I
think.
So do you think that's just like a surround like that thing, that's how they run the things?
I have to be honest. When I was after it happened, I didn't know about it until my neighbor. I was walking down the street and my neighbor, she's a white woman. She's like, "Hey, what do you think about that? About what Will Smith did to Chris? It was Chris Rock, right?
Exactly.
What he did to Chris Rock?" And I was like, "What did he do?" And then when she told me, I was like, "That's just black man. Come on, what? He's gonna get it." I'm like, how did Chris Rock respond? She's like, oh yeah, you know, he laughed it off because it's Chris Rock. I'm like, of course he did. Because it's black men. That's how they act. That's how they act. What's wrong? Oh, everybody's going to get mad at him? Why? Let them figure out their stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty much. Because everybody was shocked. When they went up there, but it was like, it was just an awkward feelings like, okay.
I mean, it was, okay. Yes, it was definitely, I would never say that it's appropriate to slap anyone. But I feel like, when it comes to that, like, you know, like I have uncles, you know, I have my cousins that are boys. And, you know, I feel like, especially Chris Rock and Will Smith, I'm sure that they've had a long relationship. I'm sure they've known each other for years and they've partied together. Yeah. They've been buddies. They probably have a lot of mutual friends, all of that. And so like, I'm like, okay, so he slapped him. He did not slap a stranger.
He slapped somebody he knows.
He didn't slap him for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just like, let them figure out their stuff. But I mean, like, I feel like by all means, the fact that the because what was it at? What was the award ceremony?
I think it was the Grammys?
The Oscar.
Oh, the Oscars.
Oscar.
I feel like by all means, you should always respect where you are, wherever, like, you know, whoever's hosting you. And so it's like, okay, the Oscars are the ones that are hosting you. Yeah. Have respect. You know, this is their venue. You know, you went up on stage and you're like, you know, you did something that for them, that shook them. They didn't feel like that was appropriate. Yeah, you should probably at least apologize to the Oscars and let them know that, hey, you know what, I disrespected your venue. Yeah. That wasn't all right. That wasn't cool. I shouldn't have done that. You know, and then you figure out your beef with Chris Rock. You guys go do that on the set, and I'm sure that they're probably like drinking together and hanging out together like old times now. Anyway, like.
But I'll take you back to Tyler Perry. For you as a producer, a film producer, do you think he's doing that for marketing purposes, or just because they want to undermine the race? Like, do you think consciously he's doing that for marketing purpose because he knows like, okay, if I do this, I'll sell more?
That's a good question.
Or
yeah. So you see, the one thing that I really found interesting when I first started as a screenwriter, like I started pitching. So I've been screenwriting since I was like a kid, you know, and I just always knew that, okay, at some point I'm gonna have to start getting my work out there and getting into meetings, meeting with network executives and producers and pitching my stories. And the one thing I realized after 2 years of just pitching and pitching and pitching and hearing no after no after no was, oh, there's a formula. There's a formula that you are looking for. And I need to fit my story into that formula. And if it is that I'm not fitting my story into that formula, then that's not going to work for you guys because it's all a numbers games to them. Like to these network executives, although it's numbers. They're trying to find the absolute best content, not exactly that it actually is like a compelling story or that it gives people this good feeling afterwards or it sends a great message. Not necessarily. It just needs to be something that at the end of the day, it's going to make them money.
Exactly.
That's their number one priority. And really, the story comes after that. You know, like the actual, like, meat and potatoes, yeah, that comes at the end. You know, like what they're looking for just like, yeah, that's what I learned from my experience of pitching, you know, because it was a lot of, I felt like I was just hearing a lot of like, that's not what the audiences are looking for. That's not what we don't think audiences would be okay with that. We don't think they would follow that story. We don't think they'll be compelled to even like press play on that story. You know, like you have to have something that is first off going to grab an audience right away. You know, like they're looking for like, okay, who's your audience? You have to be able to say exactly who your audience is, how big they are, make sure they are big. Right. And so for me, starting off like pitching my stories, I was pitching a lot of stories that was like reflective of my own experiences of like, hey, I'm married to a white man. I want to put stories out there where it's a Black woman and a white man doing life together or like going through these different like funny, wacky journeys together or whatever. And they were kind of like, who's your audience though? We don't know who the audience would be for that. We're not sure, you know, but for sure, like Tyler Perry, you know, no matter what, he from the get-go knew exactly who his audience was. He was writing a story that all Black people from all over the world could watch that and go, that's my family.
That's my family. Yeah.
That's my story.
Yeah.
I've been through that. I know somebody who acts like that. I know that, you know, like you can just right away just be like, oh, I have to watch that because, you know, I relate to that. I get it. You know, like he had an audience right away. That part was easy.
Yeah.
You know, but I think what's happening now though is just that it's just too repetitive. You know, when it's just telling the same exhausting story that's basically making it that I believe a lot of like people from other cultures, you know, like they don't know us. They don't really know us. What they know of us is this insane, elaborate, like really over the top idea of what a Black community is like. Very over the top.
So that's like, that brings me to a question. Like, do you think, because like they've been following that kind of structure for a minute because you say it affects the audience. If they know who to target and how people are going to relate to that story. If they change that into like different way where like, okay, we have the interracial marriage, like a white person marries a Black girl, you know, or a Black girl or some white man, you know, or the other way around. But do you think it's going to change their marketing strategy in a way, or will people accept that, you know, how this generation is, or how like it's been built up to that kind of storyline or that kind of lifestyle that Black people are living in or whatsoever? You think that's the vision, or you just want to keep it like that for like as long as they can go for? Or
I think it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a for sure audience for it because it's not what people are used to seeing on TV.
Exactly.
Now, here's my idea of it though. Like, okay, for example, if I name like Tom Cruise. Have you watched Tom Cruise?
I've watched movies with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you watched Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I know Tom Cruise.
Okay, Johnny Depp. Have you watched Johnny Depp?
I watched Johnny Depp, yeah.
Okay. Like, I could keep listing off white actors to you, and you will say right away, like, of course I've watched them.
Yeah.
Everyone, no matter what race, culture, what your background is,
yeah.
you could say 100%. I've watched Johnny Depp. I've watched Tom Cruise. I've watched, like, keep going on, Zac Efron, Nick Jonas. I was a Disney Channel child star. You know, I like Disney Channel.
Yeah,
you know,
Disney Channel.
So, you know, me, Zac Efron, Nick Jonas, you know, the old school type thing.
Time.
But, you know, like, what I've noticed is that there are white men that everyone will watch. Now, let's say you take that white man that you know everybody will watch, and you put him beside a Black woman, specifically a dark-skinned Black woman. The type of Black woman that not everybody's used to watching on TV, because let's be honest, a lot of people think that if there's a dark-skinned Black woman, she's going to be crazy, she's going to be loud, and she's going to be exhausting to watch. But let's put her beside that, you know, white actor, celebrity, A-list celebrity actor that you're excited to see.
Man,
that you'll watch
that
anything
hits.
you'll watch anything that they're in. Then suddenly it's like, oh, we're getting to know who this Black woman is. We're getting to know her in a different light, in a different plot, in a different story. And so that's my take on it, is like, if I know it's like dreaming big, but if we can take these white actors that we know everyone is watching and just put them beside a Black woman that we believe that people will typically, not everybody's going to watch, then you have a story that suddenly like, oh, everyone's going to open up their minds and open up their hearts to receive who this Black woman is and learning more about her. Right? Because I feel like that's the issue here, is everybody's kind of just closed off.
I know, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I know.
Yeah, that's all good, man. I know it's a very.
I know it's
It's
too
a very
early
like
to-
over like you opening our minds right now. Let me know what y'all think too, because
Yeah.
this is very like people are now to see like, okay, let me actually really think about that.
Yeah. Well, let me give you an example of the effect that the media is having right now. Okay.
It looks like you want to answer my question right now. Like, go on.
Oh, okay. So, oh my gosh, I actually do have a few examples, but let me start with this one because it was recent and it hurt me. I was so angry. So I'm at the park with my kids, and we live in a really nice neighborhood, a nice area. Like people aren't necessarily rich, but they're like, it's like a nice, well-off community area, real nice area. And we're at the park, me, the kids, my mom friends, their kids. We're all hanging out. And I think on this particular day, I was wearing an outfit that made me look a little bit on the young side. I looked a little teenager-ish. But so, I bumped into one of the girls that I worked on a commercial with her. And we were chatting. And this little Black boy, dark skinned Black boy, like came over and he's like, hey, do you have any money? And I'm like, no, what you want money for? And he's like, okay, opens his little bag, pulls out this gun. Black gun, looked like a gun for a second. And then I looked closer. It was a toy. Does this look real? That's what he tells me. I'm like, child, what are you doing walking around with a toy gun that looks like a real gun? And then you're coming up to people and saying, do you have money? Are you trying to make trouble for me? Because I'm like, what you're doing, you're not just making trouble for yourself. You're making trouble for me. You're making trouble for every single person that is dark-skinned Black that looks like us. Why are you trying to start something? Why are you trying to start something? Do you realize that if the cops look at you and they see you pull that out,
It's the entire race.
it'll look like you're trying to start something. And he just looked scared. And I think he didn't realize that I was a mom. And so I put my mom voice on and I just like called him out, and then these girls came up to me and they're like, thank you for doing that. That boy bothers us all the time. Like he's always being mean to us. Oh my gosh. I'm like, yo, where's your adult? Tell your adult, okay? Like don't let this kid just be bothering you and getting away with it. Oh my gosh. But I feel like I can't even really look at him and just go like, who are your parents? Because I'm like, what are you watching on TV? What are you,
Exactly.
what do you listen to? What music are you listening to? What music videos are you watching? It's the same way when a white person is like driving in their car, listening to rap, and they go and they yelling out the N-word, every second word, N-word, N-word, N-word. And I look at them and all I could do is go, can't say nothing. I can't say nothing. Because really, all I could do is go back to the rap artists and say, now, honey, why are you taking a word that we know for a fact our ancestors were hurt by?
Man, that's a whole new topic right there too.
They were hurt. They were put down by that word, and then you put it all over your songs. But then you want to get mad at your white fans for saying the word
Oh, man.
that you put in your music that they just singing along to.
Gee,
But you want to get mad. I'm like, I can't get mad.
I never get that.
I can't get mad. I've had like even just like white kids. Like one time I was walking down the street and this like stupid little 11-year-old boys, white boys, they're going, yo nigga, They were just yelling it out. And I was just like, I can't even say nothing. I'm like, yeah, I wanna pick something up and throw it at you, but I can't even, because I'm like, what are you listening to? What are you watching on TV? What is the media teaching you? Okay, yeah, sure. Say the N-word, whatever. Because I'm like, all I can do is my part, which as a producer, screenwriter, actress, all I can do is try to change the media. Try to put more content on there that's offsetting that other content. That's teaching everyone that this is the way that Black people are. This is how you call a Black person. This is cool. Saying the N-word is cool, and like whatever. Like, all I can do is just do my part in a civilized manner instead of just acting like a crazy Black woman. Like, you can't call me that. You want to call me the N-word? No, okay, no. I'm not gonna do it like that.
No, that's beautiful. Actually, are we gonna cover that later, because we know for sure you started the production company and you want to work on it very hard, and it looks like your head is on something really good. Like, you want to change
Thank you.
some part of where it needs to be done since we've been going through that for a long time. Maybe you had a question. I don't know if she answered it.
No.
No,
She did me a favor. I said she did. So let's talk about, we go back to Tyler Perry. Let's say, for example, he's pushing that for marketing purposes, trying, Black women feel like they've been victimized, and he's trying to make money. He's trying to make his life. Now, we look at the Democratic Party. Now they're bringing into the game Kamala Harris, right?
I heard about that, yeah.
That's another Black woman, right? Is it for marketing purpose, or is it to help Black women, according to you?
Child, I do not, me in politics, especially American politics.
The same film reflects the life we live in.
You know what? Yes. You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
If it's one thing that I always say is that you want to see who the real government of the world is, it's the media. That's what's telling us what to believe, what to think, how to act. You just watch TV, go on social media. That's telling you what you're supposed to do. It's not the government. It's not the laws, the president, whoever it is. No. It's whoever the biggest celebrity is.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for Kamala Harris, I mean, like...
Let me put you the microphone for this one.
It's a good look. It's a good look.
Yeah.
What can we say, yo?
I mean, I like Kamala. She seems cool. I mean, she's a human being. And Jesus said, "Love everybody." I love Kamala.
Amen to that.
And I pray for Trump. Jesus. And the Lord told me to love Trump too. So Jesus, yes, Lord, give me the grace. Lord, give me the strength. What can I say? No matter what, when it comes to like this type of stuff, like, yeah, I the most I can do, like, there's one girl whose podcast I follow, and she's really into politics, and she's a dark-skinned Black woman.
You talking about Candace? Is it Candace Owen?
She does this thing. It's really bad that I don't know her name, because I started watching her stuff, and I try to keep up with it every Friday. She has a teacup, and it's Friday, so I'm going to keep it brief, but I'm going to keep it Black. She always starts it like that.
That's no.
And then she just breaks stuff down in the most beautiful way that I'm like, ooh. Like, for example, when that situation with Trump happened where like somebody shot at him or whatever, she said the most bold thing that I was like, ooh, I didn't think about it that way. She was like, I'm glad he did not get shot. No, he should not have gotten shot. Not at all. Do you know why? Because the moment he gets shot, you got people rising up and craziness happening because he is now a martyr.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And so she was like, no, everyone, please listen. We do not want him to get shot. Okay, so stop that, And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think about it that way. She really got me thinking. But yeah, I try my best to like just keep up with people that I feel like, okay, you seem to me like you have common sense and you have a really good head on your shoulders about what's going on in the world and really being informed and seeing every single side of a situation and not just being like stubborn in your own side or whatever. that's the best I could do when it comes to like American politics, is just try to listen as much as possible.
Have you ever think that American politics is not really American politics, it's the world politics? Have you ever think about it that way? Like whoever leads America is kind of leading the entire world. They call them the most powerful men or women in the world, right?
Wrong.
So
You're not wrong.
we should all be concerned.
And that's terrifying. I remember when Trump was first running, there was drama happening
Oh man, that was
in
crazy,
our
man.
own families. We would get together, and I'm talking get together in the prairies with family, and people would start fighting and just walk out of the room, like storm out, like angry, like big emotions.
Hey,
And it was like,
I
hey,
know.
you guys, you realize that this is happening in a next country. This isn't happening in Canada. This is another country. How are we allowing this
That's
to
so
actually
true, man.
divide us all? Like, really?
No, that just tells you how much powerful America is, right?
It really is, like, even just, yeah, no, the film industry here, like in Vancouver, they call it North Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's not even like the shows and the movies that we are putting our priorities on. It's the American stuff. It's the American stuff. Like right now, there's a dispute happening. And like, I hope I get this right. But basically, as far as I can understand, there's a dispute happening right now because Rogers is one of like, Rogers is big, right? And Rogers is Canadian. Now, one of the recent commercials that came out for Rogers, it had the guy from The Office. What's his face? The guy that plays Jim. Oh, what's that guy's name? It'll come to me in like 10 minutes. Anyway, but it had this guy who's like, he's American. And it had him promoting that. And also they were playing Taylor Swift throughout the commercial. And so like Canadians
were
in the industry, like they're like, what the heck? Rogers is ours. This is a big commercial. Yeah. Why is there not a Canadian? Why are we not featuring Canadian artists in this commercial? And it's just because like, America it's bigger. Like a lot of the times I feel like everybody acts like Canada is like the ugly cousin of America. Like, oh, okay, I guess we have to include you because you're family.
But that's how it is. Yeah,
I guess we have to.
In everything.
We put up with you. We don't really like you.
Yeah, it's Canada.
It's just Canada.
Well, it's Canada.
Like even like people are constantly shocked. It's amazing how many people are just shocked when they find out who Canadian actors are. Like Jim Carrey is Canadian. Like Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. Like you're suddenly just getting hit with like, oh, that person's Canadian?
Even big musicians.
And you're thinking to yourself like,
100%.
I thought they were American because they're doing American TV and movies.
Yeah. Maybe because there's big money in America, The industry is so huge over there. That
it is really big. I would love it for Canada to start putting more into our film industry. Like start pushing harder. Start trying to get our stuff out there more. Because right now, they do cater to the Americans more.
A lot, yeah.
And I mean, no matter what, I understand. Yeah, I understand that like, that helps out. It's helping out. It's giving jobs to everyone. It's giving jobs to like a lot of Canadians. But yeah, I don't know how you feel. But I mean, like for me, my part, every time I write something and I pitch it, it's Canadian based.
Wow.
I put like key features of like, oh, we're in Canada. This is taking place in Vancouver. This is taking place in Manitoba. This is taking place. And, like I'm trying to like push as hard as I can to show the culture and the lifestyle of these different areas of Canada and make it a key aspect of the story. Like a story I just pitched to an American like network. And they called me this morning and they were like, okay, send the script. We want to see if we can do this, right? And in that, when I pitched it to them, I said, hey, let's put it on Vancouver Island. And I showed them like pictures of like what Vancouver Island is like, and I'm like, actually, people from all around the world, they actually would come and vacate on Vancouver Island. People all over the world. It's just not talked about as much as Hawaii. Like it's not talked about as much as these other vacation spots that are like highlighted on TV and in movies, you know? But it's like, hey, you know, look, let's show Vancouver Island. Yeah, so I hope that works out. I hope that works out.
You know, it's funny. It's very funny. Speaking of like movie productions, because when you see some Hollywood movies that wants to tell a story about how life in Africa is, you know, so I'm very curious, interested. Like, what do you like? Once the year comes out to the promotion and the marketing and what the story they want the story to be like, but I definitely don't think this is how the life is in Africa. But they try, but.
I think the problem is that they you have to ask yourself who's writing the script.
Exactly. Yeah.
And who's working with the director. You know, like even just like what's the director's goal? You know, because a lot of the time their goal isn't they don't really care about showing the truth of what the life is.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But that's like, do you think that's a problem? Because now a lot of people believe that's how life is in Africa. Lots of people believe that. You know, lots of like people are like confused, like living the Wakanda movie. People are confused, like, oh, that's how you guys are.
And that's you see right there?
Yeah.
That's the problem is that they're constantly putting this over stereotyped idea of, you know, and oh my gosh, it's so funny. Because I know that because where are you from?
I'm from Congo.
You're from Congo. And where are you from?
Congo.
And
Congo.
Yeah.
Boy.
Okay. So my friends who are from Kenya and Nigeria, they're watching the Wakanda movies and they're like, those aren't accents. Those are from nowhere.
Even the names are not.
Because they were like, for people who are from Africa. Now I'm Trinidadian, you know, so I actually way back I have Congo in me.
Oh,
so they would have taken us from Congo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But so that's actually pretty cool. You don't meet a lot of people from Congo.
Let me
That's
just
cool.
point that out there real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, like they were like, my friends were all saying, like, you know, for people from Africa, they can always tell from hearing somebody's accent. Oh, you're from here. You know, they could even apparently they could just look at someone and go, yeah, you're Nigerian. You're from Kenya. You're from Congo. You know, like they can just pinpoint it right away. They say that they look at me and they just get confused. They can't tell where I'm from.
Until you speak, though.
It's because Trinidad is a slave nation, you know? So like when my family line is not just Congo, you know, it's Spanish, there's Chinese, there's Indian, you know? Yeah.
Oh man. So like my question like to you, I guess, would be like, oh man, like what do you think is gonna be now? Like what's worse? Like them failing to like promote the African way of living, or like brainwashing people like that's how Africa is? Like,
yeah, I think that's the problem is that you
tough.
have to find and that's why we really, and I mean, like, bless the Lord, I've met some phenomenal people in the industry who they're fighting to just give Black producers and Black screenwriters a chance to tell their stories.
Exactly.
Because really a huge problem of it is that we don't have the same opportunities that a lot of other people do to tell our stories. We don't have the finances. We don't have the equipment or the resources or the education to back us up to be able to tell these big, bold, dynamic stories that reach nations, countries. You know, like we don't have those types of opportunities that these other people do. So it's really difficult. But like, yeah, like honestly, I have to give props to like people like Ashley McFarlane. Like she's in charge of the All Black Network with WeTV, and she like, you know, like she has a lot of like workshops and like all these different programs and stuff where her mission is like, let's educate Black producers and screenwriters and teach them how to get out there, teach them what to do when they finally get an opportunity to pitch to a network or pitch to a producer, how to present their stuff. Because these are things that a lot of us don't know because we don't have the same type of education or resources or access that other people do. You know, like this is all stuff that it costs a lot of money. Yeah. So like, yeah, there are people that are doing their best. There are government grants.
But they
Lord
go to
help me.
they go to who?
Now, here's the funny thing, right? Is that there are government grants. When I was like getting my production company off the ground, the first thing I have to do is like, okay, I have to look into as many government grants as possible, primarily like stuff for Black people, or people of color, whatever. And just trying to apply to all these different things. They have the most amazing loopholes to jump through. Like, I'm messaging my friend who, like, he has a ton of credits. He's a amazing, like, everybody knows him in Vancouver. He's a cinematographer, and he started doing more stuff himself where he wants to do more of his own short films and productions or whatever. And so he's having to apply for grants as well. And so he sat down with me and he's like, Chanelle, I can't even get a grant. And he's like, and you see what my resume looks like. And I can't get a grant.
Wow.
Because he said that, like, they really do put a lot of loopholes for, like, not loopholes, a lot of hoops to jump through. Sorry, I keep saying loopholes. Hoops to jump through. It was weird. Like, there was one that I was applying for that was for, like, people who are just starting out, producers that are just starting out. Like, you have to basically not have anything in your resume, essentially. Like, or like you basically, you're not supposed to have produced anything at this point when you apply for it. Now, when I was applying for this, they denied it. And then I emailed them and I was like, I don't understand. Like, what? And they were like, your resume it doesn't have anything on it, like for working in film. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't have anything for working in film?
Exactly.
Like, so for me, like, I've done like acting, like that's my resume is acting.
Yeah.
That's it. I haven't done like the producer, screenwriter, director. I don't have any credits for that. And they're like, no, we need to have seen that you actually worked like with a production team. You actually worked like basically in some capacity as a screenwriter or as like, a part of like a director's assistant or something. You have to have like been on a team somewhere, and I'm like, okay, well, I did something back in college. They're like, no, anything in college doesn't count. Like if you did a short film, if you worked on a short film in college, no, that doesn't count. It has to have been that you were working with that team in some capacity beforehand.
So in your opinion, if I may ask you, why do you think they have that rule set? Because even for musicians, I guess it's very hard for them to even get grants. It's
even worse for musicians.
Like you can't,
Jeez.
You gotta go through a lot. Yeah. I don't know if you've got any.
Yeah, it's I know BK has a question, but my question goes along with this question. For you as a writer, as a leader, because this goes down to leadership, right? And I'm wondering, it took us hundreds of years to be transformed into slaves, right? And it took a high level of intelligence for them to make us slaves, finally. Do you think it should take the same level of intelligence from our side to become equal? Once again, and years again. Maybe we are rushing into it, but we should go back to the same level of intelligence so we can get freedom forever. And because I don't believe there's the freedom right now, right? So
yeah. Oy, man, it's like, it comes down to like picking your battles. Jeez, like there's a lot. There's a lot of fighting. And then, just how you fight, why you're fighting. I think probably the one thing that I would stress on the most is, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting like that particular cause, problem, issue pertaining to equality with being Black? Because I know some people, they're fighting just to fight. They just want to cause drama. They just want to make noise. And I'm like, sit down and shut up. Like, read a book.
Read a book.
Like, study your history. Because, we didn't, that's not how people that brought great change,
Yeah.
That's not how they fought.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think really what comes down to it is like each person's reasoning behind why they're fighting. And it's like some people they're fighting just because like they've been bullied, you know, by other races or
Yeah.
cultures. And they just want that feeling of like avenging, you know, or like revenge or whatever, you know, and that's why they're fighting, you know. But it's like, okay, in that particular issue, start with forgiveness so that you can come forward with a clean, pure heart to then fight a proper good fight. Because you know what? God is a God of justice. You know, no matter what, he's a God of love, but he is a God of justice. You know, but he still says, love your neighbor, love your enemies. Shoot. Sorry. As a mom, I have an alarm to tell me when to go to bed because I won't stop.
That's the thing about alarms. Even though you put them silent, they'll still pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we know that. That's all good.
We'll cut that part. It's okay.
So, but like you mentioned, that's a good key that you mentioned there. I hope Major she answered your question.
Yeah,
But-
no.
Wait. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so you're saying the amount of intelligence that it takes to basically,
No, you know, like the colonizer was intelligent enough to make us slaves, right? Because I don't think he just woke up and say, "You guys are slaves." I think they studied everybody, the community, the culture, and everything for years. Then they find out the way they could corrupt everybody at once. So which means they were united to make us slaves. Now we want to fight individually, right? Like you said, we're trying to be emotional and just doing vengeance and stuff like that, but you know, it's not working. Now, my question is, do you think as a leader, do you think we should also sit down and plan for it and think like together about it? Because I know some guys wanted to think about that, like people like Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, even though they were betrayed by, you know, their own, which is the truth. But do you think it should take the same level of intelligence for us to really become equal once again?
Yeah.
And breathe the you know, that life?
now I'm gonna say this in like a bit of a twist on
Yeah.
it because so I would say because if you go back in history, you notice that like it wasn't just that they were intellectual in the way that they planned bringing us into slavery. It was that they had the help of our own people.
Yeah.
You know, like my mom, my grandma, they would tell me that like it was tribes that were our next door neighbors
Yeah.
that packed us up.
Can we also use them?
Wow.
Sorry?
Can we also use them to become free forever?
That's what I'm saying.
We got them our friends,
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Some of
And
them are
that's,
our friends.
That's the problem, I think. That's honestly the problem, I believe, is that like at this point, as we see in the media, we are segregating ourselves. We're constantly saying it's us versus them. And I'm like, why are we not joining together with other races and cultures who are just as passionate about Black rights, who are getting just as angry when they see someone that's their friend, their neighbor, their in-law who's Black getting, you know, hurt or like put down or disrespected, whatever. Like they're seeing that, they're getting angry too. Stop being like, oh, well, you don't understand because you're not Black, so you don't understand. You don't understand. No. You know, it's like
That's a good jest. That's a good way to act. That's you
like,
nailed it.
Take the
Spot
help.
on.
Teach them. They want to learn. They want to be a part of a movement. The amount of white people that, you know, put up the Black thing on their on their social media pages when
During George Floyd?
like
That
the
was a
amount
good
of
moment anyways.
there was so many people that it hit them.
I think that was the
suddenly.
right moment to make every move.
Yeah.
Bro, everything, all this grand stuff could work that time. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you,
Come
all of them could work that time.
But no, let me be honest with you though. Let me be honest actually. Let me backtrack, rewind, and I do have to give a shout out though to like all the different networks and production companies who I just emailed them. So the way that I started my journey, I messaged a screenwriter turned director, Susan Nielsen, because she's a local in Vancouver and she has one of the biggest TV shows right now.
Wow.
And it's Canadian. Family Law. I don't know if you've heard of it. But
Sounds familiar.
her story basically, like I was like, that's what I want. She's white. But what she did, she wanted to be a director. And she also wanted to tell her own story, to come up with a story, to screenwrite. And so she went through this process for years, you know, and got to the point where she finally was able to pitch a story, get a network on board, and then on top of that, be a director and directed herself. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, I want to do it too. You know, like, yeah, you don't know me. My name's Chanelle, you know, whatever. Like, I'm an actress, you know, I am a screenwriter, but like, I'm basically a nobody. You know, I don't have credits or whatever, but I want to get there. Can you give me any advice? And she responded and she was just so excited. And, you know, I told her what my mission was. I told her that, hey, my mission is, you know, dark-skinned Black girls. I don't feel like we're being represented well in the media. I don't feel like our stories are really getting the opportunity to be told. And that's what I want to do. And she was so excited. And so she was like, Chanelle, I'm going to tell you something. It's this easy. Look up the company that you want to pitch to, find the number, find the email, send an email, call the number, just ask. Tell them what your mission is and just ask.
Yeah.
And
What's there to lose, right?
literally that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I had meetings with like people that I was just like, oh, like, you know, like I think like, yeah, the biggest was probably like, okay, well, probably Netflix and NBC, Universal.
That's
And
really dope.
they are all so nice. That's the thing is that like, some of them start off nice and then they kind of like, it's kind of like they're doing their duty. They're like, oh, okay, she's got a mission that I have to, send your, let's have a meeting,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
It's gonna take a fight though. It's gonna take a fight
and then,
too.
but really it's like, because no matter what, a lot of these people, they know that it's the right thing to say. They know that, okay,
There you
this
go.
is what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't look good or be right for me as someone in a position of power to deny this Black girl who's saying, hey, this is my mission, is that I want to make the world a better place for Black women like me when it comes to TV and movies. Of course, you're not going to email back and be like, no. I've never had that. I've never had somebody like
no.
email back and just be like, absolutely not. No, I do not support that. Never. They always message back like, okay, let's talk. Okay, send me your work. Okay, let's have a meeting. Let me connect you. Or sometimes it's, you know what? I'm not the right person for this particular project, but let me connect you with this person who I believe this project is for. You know, like, and it honestly, but I feel like no matter what, it took me getting out of my comfort zone and just speaking up and approaching people who I didn't necessarily know if they were going to respond with kindness or if they were going to like, I don't know, send their lawyers after me and be like, I don't know, like get me in trouble somehow for like just contacting them about a story that I want to pitch.
She want to ruin our stuff.
But it was like, I made the most amazing connections.
Yeah.
And the most amazing friendships even with these people who they are supportive of our mission, you know, of like making the world a better place for Black people. And I think only one of those people was Black. Nope, two. But it was like a handful of them. Like I would say like it was like 20 of them that I like was in contact with, you know, sent them my work, had a pitch meeting with them. And they were just so supportive and they wanted to be a part of my story. The coolest thing was when I emailed with NBC Universal and she read my work and then she said, hey, I want to give you feedback. She didn't just say, nah, this isn't for us. Like some people do that. No, this isn't for us. That's it. Nothing else. And it's done. But she was like, this isn't for us, but I want to give you notes because I want you to learn from this experience. And then after she gave me notes, she said, now I want to connect you with this guy here who runs a program for students who are like interns at NBC Universal. And I want you to have a meeting with him. and to discuss what your dreams and your passions are and see if there's a way that we can help you out to move further.
That's cool.
It was really cool. And honestly,
awesome.
all those meetings kept moving me forward. But it all took me reaching out to people who weren't Black, you know, or they weren't people that I felt comfortable reaching out to. But it was like, that was the advice that I got.
They heard you. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you I know we're approaching the end of the show here, and it's really awesome the fact that you even started that idea, because we've talked about it, how important it is to. It's going to be difficult in the culture that we're obviously living in right now, where the idea of how Black people live is this and is that, or the story is supposed to be this and that. That's why we attract people more. But your mindset is different. You want to give people opportunity to, like, okay, no, this is how the story lays. They should understand this in a different way, which is awesome. I also wanted to talk about for those who don't know, it's called Night Mist, the Night Mist production. That's what Chanelle is working on right now.
The production company?
That's the company that Chanelle is working on. I was just asking, how long has it been since you started this idea of it?
Yeah, so I started that basically just during the strikes. There was strikes happening in Hollywood, writers and actors. And it was a while that my friends in the independent world here in Vancouver, independent producers, they kept telling me, Chanelle, I feel like you're wasting your time just constantly pitching. Make your own stuff. Just do it. Because you're not always going to fit into everybody else's mold. You have to create your own mold. You know? And so they kept saying it over and over again. They kept going, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And then when the strikes happened, it was literally like, okay, Chanelle, you have no other choice. You have to do it if you want to keep moving forward. Because there's nothing else to do.
100%.
And so, I started it. And to start it, I literally had to, I had a business that I was actually running. It was a magazine business for moms.
Yeah, in Vancouver?
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow. We
Yeah.
wish we knew.
And it's called Maturing Mama. And, I'm a follower of Jesus. I like to pray before I do something. I like to pray everything into okay, God, make sure that I always tell people, my dream, my hope, my desire is to be a success in the film industry. That's my dream and my desire. That's not my goal. My goal is to be pleasing to God. My goal is whatever it is that he is calling me to do, that I do it the way he wants me to do it. Even if that means that all I do is get into the room and get denied. And he says, that was the plan. Good job, Chanelle. And I'm like, all right, God, that was the plan. Bless the Lord. That's not what he told me though. But, so I had this business, this magazine business, and it was doing well. I'd been working on it for 3 years at that point, going on 4. Everything was picking up. Clients were coming in. Money was rolling in.
Online or is it just
was online. It was a printed magazine. I had the social media page and, followers were building up. And it just got to a point where God was like, you got to pick. If you're going to do it, be all in. You're going to do the film industry, do it right. Be all in. The times that you're not working on a screenplay, the times that you're not actually on set or actually doing applications for grants or paperwork or whatever, you better be reading your Bible. You better be praying into the film industry, But he's like, let that be your sole focus right now. So that's what I had to do. It's been hard, but it's just this feeling of peace. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I know that. And the connections that I'm making, it's so fruitful. And I just know okay, God, this is where you want me. And stuff is moving forward. Even though it's I'm learning a lot about patience and just having faith.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And, believing in the vision.
Yeah.
But it's all stuff that's making me grow into the person that I know he's calling me to be in the film industry.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it.
Wow.
We're extremely happy. We are very much rooting for you.
Yeah.
For that.
Thank you. Yeah,
project
if anybody wants to donate to the production company, we do have a fundraiser, for a short film that's a concept for a TV series that I pitched to a number of producers and networks.
Can you speak that to the camera, bro? Actually, because We want people to hear that for sure.
Yeah, if anybody, like right now we have a fundraiser happening. It's on my social media page. That's CHANELLE.J.Holder on Instagram. Like the link in my bio is a fundraiser for this short film that's a concept for a TV series that I've been pitching for the last 2 years to producers and network executives. It's this concept about these two people that do not get along. It's a student and a professor, white professor, black student. They don't get along. They're just butting heads, and they get trapped in a college together overnight.
Wow.
And they realize that, oh man, we actually have a lot in common. And they realize that, oh, we can actually work together instead of constantly butting heads all the time. Which, like, that's something that I just want to, put into the media, into the world, just showing people that, like, someone can look so different than you and act differently than you, and you can, like, be pointing your finger at them and saying, well, you're like this, you're like that, and have your own preconceived notions about them. But then when you come down to the meat of it, you can actually find out that, whoa, you're a lot like me. And we can actually be there for each other. We can actually help each other achieve each other's goals and whatever, and so that's the point of the story. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. You guys heard it, man. It's amazing. And we've had such great discussion out here. I'm curious to see what people are gonna think about everything we point out here.
Not only people. I'm curious to see what the husband is going to say.
Oh, okay.
I want
Yeah,
to see him feeling proud. Like that
can we
pride
have a comment down there
for having her.
Oh yeah.
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 I
So
hope she's gonna text us about that. He was happy.
So you guys heard it, man. And Chanelle's social media where you can find how to donate, on the fund, and then just building up this amazing project, because it's gonna give opportunity to a lot of people, a lot of black people, black women who is going to be interested in getting to know that. So
Yeah, and any amount counts. Like I've had some people give like a little $5, a little $10, a little all that stuff. It
Exactly.
adds up.
Yeah. Because it's huge, man. And we have the Tyler Perrys who are doing their thing, but you have a different goal and different mindset. And man, I'm rooting for you. I don't know about you, Major, but that's what we need, man.
Oh,
That's what
thank
we
you.
absolutely need. And we obviously do appreciate you for just coming here and just spending time to talk about these things, because I got to know some things today I didn't even know. So now I gotta do my little research and see how things are playing around.
Some history.
Some history in there. I gotta know all that stuff. But Chanelle, we do appreciate you for showing up here, for coming just here, talk to us, man. Chatting has been fun. It's been great to know you, and we're excited to see how the project's gonna be unfolding in the future nearby. So we do believe it's gonna be a great one for sure.
Thank you.
But thank you for coming here and chatting with up for the explanation, man. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that one. Major, man. If you got something closing to do out here, we can.
Just one thing, man.
Yeah, just you got that one thing. Time is ticking, bro.
Yes. One thing. Yes or no, the black community that lives out of Africa should play a major role to the development of Africa right now.
Wow.
Like, I mean, the Caribbeans, the Black American, wherever you are, because by race and birth, we are all linked together. But history has separated us. Now, yes or no, they have a major role to play into the development of Africa right now, because they've seen it all, right?
Yes.
They've seen it all. They're not surprised by anything.
Yes.
Some of the things happen on TV we don't know. We are just in Africa like, that's not Africa. That's what they just told you right now. Right? That's not Africa. That's not how we speak.
Yeah.
Now, since you guys are already out of Africa, yes or no, you have a major role to play.
Oh my gosh, we have a major role to play. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Definitely.
That's a big yes.
Like, I'm very proud of who the girl that plays Black Panther, the girl. She's Black Panther now.
Oh, Lupita.
Yeah.
She did a documentary where she went back to Africa and she told stories.
Yeah,
that
she's
was
from
the
Kenya,
truth.
actually.
The truth
She's from
of
Kenya.
stories that
beautiful girl from Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah, but she's
Kenyan.
British. She's British.
She's British, yeah, but
Yeah. But like, she went back and she got real stories from people. And the thing is that people have to realize that there's a lot that, like, people like me specifically, we don't know. We don't know our own stories from Africa. And so it's the willingness, first of all, to learn So that's why I love my sisters that are like Kenyan, like they're like Nigerian. They only recently immigrated here and they can tell me stories, and one day, I really do want to go there and just learn. I think that's the key word. It's just I want to learn. I don't want to assume that I know. I don't know. I want to learn. Teach me about my culture. Yeah.
Wow. I went just one last question. I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to ask one last question about your projects. Just any, I don't know if you want to spoil little ideas or what's to come, what's the storyline, because I know you're a screenwriter, I know you got some good stuff, but like any sneak peek of what people to expect, what to watch whenever it's that time.
There's one project that I'm super excited about. It's like, it was the Lord at work in my life. When I was 15, this is how far back it started. Wow. When I was 15, and I'm telling you, this is in the works right now. And I don't think it's a big deal that I'm talking about it, because honestly, it's already a book. So the author, Maria V. Snyder. So I was a big reader, and I read her book. This was when she wrote her first book. And so she wasn't well known. She didn't have really any awards or anything. But I just fell in love with her first book, Poison Study, and I just became obsessed with it. And I was one of those crazy fangirls that would just be emailing her all the time, like, oh my gosh, I love your book. Oh my gosh, tell me more about how you came up with this character, that character. I want to write just like you. And one day I want to be a producer and I want to turn it into a TV series. I promise I will do that one day for you, Maria. Like, I would just go on and on and on. Crazy, crazy fangirl. And she was so kind and so patient and just so encouraging. And it was years that we maintained a friendship. And even to the point that, like, I would enter writing competitions, I would enter like different things, and I would send my work to her and she would read it for me and give me feedback. Now, fast forward, I am starting my first production company, which I promised her one day I would do it. I would start a production company. Nice. And so I emailed her and I was like, I did it. I started a production company. I want to let you know it's happening. And she was like, Chanelle, pick any book and you can produce it. Oh. And I was like, wait, what? Now, me and her, like, we maintained a friendship, but I didn't keep reading her stuff. Like, it was just like life got busy. I got married at 20. I had kids right away. Like, life picked up, and then I got really into my own writings and stuff. So it was just like, I wasn't reading her stuff anymore. Yeah. I found out that she won so many awards. She's now a best-selling author, like a New York Times best-selling author. She won tons of awards on all of her books. And she's like, Chanelle, I want to encourage you to produce this particular story. And she sends me a story about a Black woman who is just like me. And it was a fantasy story. Wow. And when I read this story, I was like, that's awesome. Whoa, this is me. Whoa, this just like is now better than the original story that I initially fell in love with her for. But she was like, it's an award-winning book. It's called The Eyes of Tambura. And and so, oh my gosh, it was amazing because, like I told you, I connected with Ashley McFarlane. She just like coached me through, like, okay, Chanelle, here's what we need to do to be able to get this project going. Here's what you need to go. Like, so stuff is in the very, 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 very beginning phase. Like, it's so beginning like phase right now. Like, bless the Lord, we finished all of the pitch material. So like, for anybody that likes to pray, like, it's definitely something that's like, okay, we need prayers for this, right? Yeah. But like, it's amazing though, because like, she has just trusted me with her work. That's and amazing. Like, at this point, like, I asked her, I was like, will you come alongside me on this journey as a co-producer? Like, I'm like, I don't want you to not be a part of this. I don't want you to just give me your story and then feel like, okay, bye. Like, I'm gone with it. I'm like, no, let's do the journey together. Come be a part of the world. Come like be on set when things are moving and have your input and whatever. It's really exciting. So yeah, I'm just believing that like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, that'll be on TV.
Hey man, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. But that's what we needed to hear. So the viewers out there, I know for sure you got something coming your way. So I cannot wait for that. Absolutely. So you guys heard it, man. We're going to close the show because I know I'm getting in trouble over there in the back. So, but I do appreciate you guys for tuning in for today's show. It's been great having Chanelle here, just educating us on amazing, good points and a really wonderful project coming up for your way. So we're excited, and I hope you guys excited too, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm your host. That's my favorite part of the show right here. That's your favorite part, just listen to all the stories you blessed me with today. But I'm your host, Baraka, man. On my right side, we got Major.
Can I pass a little message like
Major, you just cut me off in the middle of my closing.
Don't worry, you're going to close. This is exciting. Come on.
What over this one?
This is... Hey, we have a message for you. Go on Chanelle's page. I know she's going to announce that. Go there and leave her a message saying that you are waiting for her in Africa.
Ooh.
She needs to open a production company, and Afro Diaspora is going to be behind everything. Technical, cameras, and everything will cover. She just needs to open the idea in Africa. And we'll work together.
That's a big one. That's a big one, Chanelle.
That's it.
This actually, I give you, for stopping me, I give you the right for doing that. But that's big. That's actually big. That's actually big. Please go ahead, because I want to see that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So we can see our lifestyle, in Africa really is. We can get. It's gonna be good.
So easy to pick up, actors.
But you know what I'm saying? Let me get back to my thing. I'm your host, Baraka, man. On my right side, we got Major Migisho right here. You know what I'm saying? The bad man. And obviously the one wonderful Chanelle Holder. Thank you once again for coming here, man. You can absolutely come back anytime you talk about. I got a lot of questions I wrote down, but it's just I wouldn't want to get in trouble with the guy in the back, but we got a lot of questions for you. So feel free to come back here and we can discuss a lot more. But thank you so much once again for coming, Chanelle. We appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. After this, so we're signing out. Peace.